It feels like AI is everywhere you turn these days.
Yeah, totally.
But let's be real for a second. Most of us are still trying to figure out how to make some money off this whole AI craze.
Absolutely.
Like, where's the actual opportunity here?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about AI, but finding the real investment opportunities.
Yeah.
Those take a bit more digging.
Totally. And that's what we're doing today on this deep dive.
I like it.
We're going deep.
Let's go deep.
We're using this this Motley Fool article you sent me. And it basically argues that some companies are already so far ahead in the AI game.
Yeah.
They're like the Usain Bolt of the industry.
I love that analogy.
Right.
Like, they're already winning.
Exactly. They've already built such a solid foundation with AI.
Okay.
They're just poised to leave everyone else behind.
Interesting.
And what's interesting is it's not the companies you might immediately think of.
Ooh. Okay, so now I'm really intrigued.
Yeah.
Like, where do we even begin? Well, the article kicks off with this idea of a Palantir moment.
A Palantir moment.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds pretty dramatic.
That is a little bit dramatic.
Tell me more.
So Palantir Technologies, they're a data analytics company, right?
Okay.
And their stock just exploded.
Exploded how?
Over 800% in just 2 years.
Wow.
And a lot of that was because of their focus on AI.
Okay.
So the article is suggesting that there are at least 2 other companies out there that could see that kind of growth.
Oh, wow.
But before we get too excited,
Yeah.
I think it's important to understand why Palantir was so successful in the first place.
Okay, so we're not just blindly chasing the next big thing.
Exactly.
We're trying to find those companies with that same recipe for success.
Exactly. So, Palantir, their strategy was really interesting.
Okay.
They really zeroed in on government contracts.
Okay.
They were providing AI solutions for defense and intelligence. It makes you wonder, right?
Yeah.
What was it about that specific niche that allowed them to just flourish?
Yeah, were they just in the right place at the right time?
Right. Was it a lack of competition?
Right.
Was it the nature of the contracts? There's something there.
Yeah.
And if we can understand what made them tick, maybe that helps us evaluate these other companies.
That's a really good point.
Right.
Okay, so who's contender number 1?
All right. Contender number 1.
Drum roll, please.
Is Alphabet.
Alphabet. Wait.
Google's parent company.
Google's already like a huge player in AI.
Right.
What makes them stand out even more now?
So while they are already known for AI, the article argues they're actually developing something new.
Okay.
And potentially even more dominant.
Ooh. Okay, now I'm really hooked.
All right.
What is it?
It's all about something called Gemini 2.0.
Gemini 2.0.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of sci-fi, to be honest.
It does. It does.
It's like straight out of a movie.
It kind of is. So think of it like a supercharged personal assistant.
Okay.
But way more capable than anything we have today.
Right.
That's essentially what an AI agent is.
Okay.
And Google's Gemini is pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
So it's not just like search and voice assistants anymore.
It's way beyond that.
Paint me a picture.
Okay.
Like, what can this Gemini thing actually do?
Okay, so the article highlights some really futuristic capabilities.
Okay.
Imagine, Gemini handling all of your online shopping.
Okay.
With just a simple voice command.
Wow. That's a good.
Or picture this.
Yeah.
It's embedded in your smart glasses.
Okay.
And it's giving you real-time information about your surroundings as you're walking down the street.
Wow.
Like, we're entering what some people are calling the agentic era.
That's pretty wild.
It is wild. And, NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang.
Yeah, I know him.
He recently predicted a multi-trillion-dollar market.
Really?
For AI agents.
Wow.
And that's where things get really interesting for Alphabet.
How so?
Because with their vast data resources...
Google has a ton of data.
So much data.
Yeah.
And their existing AI expertise.
They've been in this game for a while.
Right. They're incredibly well-positioned to dominate that market.
So we've got Google, potentially game-changing software.
Yeah.
Like Gemini?
Gemini.
But all this fancy AI stuff... It needs some serious hardware behind it, right?
Absolutely. It all needs to run on something.
Exactly.
And that's where contender number 2 comes in.
Okay, hit me.
This one might surprise you.
Okay.
Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing.
Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing.
Or TSMC, for short.
TSMC.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, that name doesn't exactly scream AI revolution.
I know, right?
It sounds like a manufacturing company.
Right, exactly.
Not like some cutting-edge AI company.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
TSMC is the company.
Yes.
That's actually making the brains.
The brains?
Yeah, the brains behind a lot of the AI we use every day.
Okay.
Manufacture the chips that power everything.
Okay, I think I've heard of TSMC.
Yeah.
Especially with all this talk about chip shortages.
Oh, absolutely.
Over the last couple of years.
They're at the center of that.
But I still don't quite get how they fit into the whole AI boom.
So their role is critical.
Okay.
They manufacture 90%.
90%?
90% of the world's most advanced computer chips.
That's insane.
It is.
No wonder there are chip shortages.
Right.
If one company controls that much.
Exactly. And that's their moat, so to speak.
Their moat.
Yeah. So in investing, a moat refers to a company's competitive advantage.
What makes them special?
What sets them apart, right? What protects them from rivals?
Right, right.
TSMC's moat is massive.
Okay.
They've got the technology, they have the expertise, and the scale to make it almost impossible for others to catch up.
Wow, so they're basically essential then.
They are essential.
But what makes TSMC's chips specifically suited for AI?
Okay, good question.
Are they just regular chips?
Yeah.
Or is there something special about them?
So let's get a bit technical here. All right. But I promise to keep it simple.
Okay.
You've probably heard of nanometers.
Yeah.
When it comes to chips.
I know it has something to do with the size of components on the chips.
Yeah, smaller is better.
Smaller is better, exactly.
Okay.
So TSMC, they're currently manufacturing chips using what's called a 3-nanometer process.
A 3-nanometer process.
Which is incredibly small.
I can't even imagine.
It's mind-blowingly small.
So basically, the smaller you can make the components, the more you can cram onto a chip.
Exactly. More transistors, more processing power.
More power.
And you can do it more efficiently. So TSMC is making the most powerful and the most efficient AI chips on the planet.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
And here's the kicker.
Okay.
They're not stopping there.
They're not stopping at 3?
Well,
what are they doing?
They're already working on a 2-nanometer process.
A 2-nanometer process.
Which is going to be a complete game changer.
That's insane.
It is.
It sounds like a technological arms race.
It really is.
Like these companies are just constantly trying to one-up each other.
Trying to outdo each other.
Okay, but how does all this chip talk actually relate back to the AI boom?
Good question. So think about all those AI services we talked about, right?
Yeah, like Gemini,
self-driving
cars, all of it.
All that stuff.
It all requires massive amounts of data processing.
Okay.
And where does that processing happen?
I don't know where.
In data centers.
Data centers?
These giant warehouses filled with servers.
Oh, yeah. Packed with, you guessed it, TSMC chips.
So TSMC might not have the
name recognition?
Yeah, the name recognition of a Google.
Right.
But they're quietly profiting.
From
the entire AI industry.
The entire industry. They're like the essential infrastructure.
They're like the picks and shovels of the...
Picks and shovels.
Of the AI gold rush.
Love that analogy.
It's
perfect.
Okay, so we've got Alphabet.
Yeah.
Cutting-edge AI services like Gemini. TSMC making the chips that power it all.
The brains behind it all.
But the million-dollar question...
Yes.
Should we be buying stock in these companies right now?
That's the question, isn't it?
That's what everyone wants to know.
And to answer that, we need to dig into the numbers a bit.
All right, hit me with the numbers.
Let's do it.
Well, the article mentions this thing called the price-to-earnings ratio, or PE ratio for short, as a way to kind of gauge whether a stock is a good buy or not.
Right.
So is that like...
Yeah, the PE ratio basically gives us a snapshot of whether a stock is... potentially overvalued or undervalued.
So a high PE ratio means
high PE ratio.
Investors are too optimistic. And a low PE ratio.
That could signal a bargain.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
But it's not the only thing to consider, obviously.
Of course not. Investing is never that simple.
Never that simple.
There's always more to it.
So for Alphabet and TSMC specifically...
Yeah, what are we looking at?
What are their PE ratios?
So right now, TSMC is sitting at 22.7.
Okay.
And Alphabet is at 21.8.
Okay.
And just for context, the average PE ratio for the S&P 500 is currently around 23.2.
Okay, so they're both
A little bit.
Below the market average.
Below the average, yeah.
Does that mean we should buy green light?
It's not quite that simple.
It's never that simple.
It's never that simple, no.
Okay.
So while a lower than average PE ratio might suggest that a stock is undervalued, we always have to consider the specific circumstances of each company and the broader market trends as well.
Okay, so what other factors should we be thinking about in this case?
Well, the tech sector in general is known for being pretty volatile.
Okay.
Right?
That's true.
A company's PE ratio can fluctuate, go up and down significantly based on new earnings reports and just overall market sentiment.
So we need to take these numbers.
Yeah, a grain of salt.
With a grain of salt.
Exactly. They're just one piece of the puzzle.
One piece of the puzzle.
Okay.
What else?
What else should we be looking at?
Should we be looking at?
Well, one thing that really stands out to me is just the incredible growth potential of the AI market as a whole.
Right. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Huge number.
An almost unimaginable number.
A potential $15.7 trillion market by 2030. It's mind-boggling, right? It's hard to wrap your head around a number that big.
It's hard to even fathom what that even looks like.
It really is.
But that has to factor in.
Yeah, absolutely.
To how we're thinking about these companies.
So both Alphabet and TSMC.
Yeah.
They're key players in this burgeoning market.
Yeah.
If that growth even comes close to projections, they're both well-positioned to capitalize on it.
That makes sense, yeah. It's not just about their current financials.
It's about the future.
It's about their potential to ride this wave.
Ride the wave, exactly.
Of AI.
That's a great way to put it.
That's exciting.
It is.
And that's where, I guess, their moats become even more significant.
Right, because
Alphabet's dominance in AI services and TSMC's control over...
advanced chip manufacturing.
Yeah.
Those give them a major edge.
A major edge.
It's like they have front row seats to the biggest show in tech. That's a great way to put it.
And it all kind of brings us back to that Palantir moment idea.
Right.
Palantir found success by focusing on a specific niche within AI. So could Alphabet and TSMC see similar success by leveraging their existing strengths?
So maybe it's not about chasing the next shiny AI gadget or whatever, but looking for companies that can apply AI in a way that
creates a true competitive advantage.
You
got it.
That's really interesting.
It is, right.
So for someone listening to this, thinking, okay, I'm convinced AI is the future I want in.
I want to be a part of this.
Where do they even begin?
Well, the most important thing is to do your own research.
Your own research.
Yeah, don't just take our word for it.
Right.
Dig deeper into the companies we've discussed. Read the full Motley Fool article. Explore other sources. And just really develop your own informed perspective.
That's great advice.
It's easy to get caught up in the excitement.
The hype.
Yeah, the hype. Yeah. But investing always requires careful consideration.
Absolutely.
So what else? What else should people keep in mind?
This
is just the beginning.
It's the beginning.
This is just the beginning of the AI revolution.
Wow.
There are going to be countless opportunities and challenges emerging in the coming years.
So it's about staying informed, staying curious. Being ready to adapt.
Absolutely. Things are going to change quickly.
Yeah, as the landscape evolves.
Exactly.
That's a great point.
And who knows? Wow. Maybe we'll uncover the next Palantir moment together.
I like that.
Along the way, right.
The next Palantir moment.
Yeah.
It's funny. We started this whole deep dive talking about AI stocks, but this conversation
goes way beyond.
It does, doesn't it?
It's the stock market.
Yeah, the implications of AI.
Right.
Are far-reaching. They touch practically every aspect of our lives.
It's not just our phones and computers anymore.
No, not at all.
We're talking healthcare.
Transportation.
Even fields we haven't even conceived of yet.
And it's crazy to think.
It is crazy.
How all of this connects back to that chip race we were talking about earlier.
That chip race. The battle between TSMC and its competitors.
Right.
To produce the most advanced chips.
And whoever controls that?
They hold a tremendous amount of power. And that power only grows as AI becomes more and more ubiquitous.
It really makes you wonder what other industries are going to be transformed by this.
That's the question.
This chip race.
That's the question we should all be asking ourselves.
It's a big one.
It is a big one, yeah.
So it's not just about individual companies or stocks.
Mm-hmm.
It's about understanding the bigger picture.
The forces at play.
The forces that are shaping the future.
Precisely. And that's what I love about these deep dives.
Me too.
You know, we get to explore the intricacies, the connections,
the ripple effects
that often get overlooked.
Exactly.
Like we're connecting the dots.
Connecting the dots.
Seeing the forest for the trees.
Love it. That's a good one.
Right. And those connections often lead to the most insightful observations.
It's like we've uncovered this whole hidden network of power and influence.
It really is.
Just by following the AI stuff.
Just by kind of pulling on these threads, right?
Yeah.
It's like an iceberg.
An iceberg, yeah.
What we see on the surface, you know, the chatbots and the self-driving cars.
Right.
That's just the tip.
Yeah.
There's so much going on underneath.
And it's those underlying currents, like this chip race.
That chip race is huge.
That are really going to shape the future.
In ways we can't even imagine.
Yeah.
It's both exciting and a little bit daunting.
Yeah. It's definitely both.
Right.
It makes you want to pay attention.
Yeah.
Like really try to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
So you can at least be somewhat prepared.
Be prepared.
For what's coming next.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things I really appreciate about this approach.
This deep dive.
This deep dive. Yeah. It encourages us to look beyond the headlines.
Right.
And think critically about the bigger picture.
It's like we've taken this seemingly simple question.
Right. Like, should I buy this stock?
Yeah. Which AI stock should I buy?
Exactly.
And we've turned it into this journey to the heart of the AI revolution.
I love that.
And we've uncovered all these fascinating insights along the way.
About technology, economics, even geopolitics.
Geopolitics, yeah.
It's all connected.
It's all connected.
So, to wrap things up, is there one key takeaway you'd like to leave our listener with?
Ooh, good question.
All right, if I had to distill it down to one key point, it would be this.
Okay.
Don't just chase the hype.
Don't chase the hype.
Look for companies with a clear competitive advantage.
That moat.
That moat.
Yeah.
That sets them apart and positions them for long-term success.
That's great advice.
I try.
So to recap,
let's recap.
We explored this idea of a Palantir moment.
Palantir moment.
We examined two companies with potentially massive AI upside.
Huge potential.
Alphabet and TSMC.
Big players.
And we highlighted the importance of looking beyond the surface.
Beyond the surface.
To understand
those deeper forces shaping the industry.
The currents underneath.
And, of course, we always encourage our listener
to do their own research.
Do your homework.
Don't just take our word for it. Dig deeper into the topics that pique your interest.
Exactly.
The Motley Fool article you shared is a great starting point.
It is a good starting point.
Think of this deep dive as like a launching pad.
A launching pad.
For your own
exploration
of the AI revolution.
I like it.
Who knows what you might discover?
The future is out there.
So stay curious, keep learning. And buckle up. Because this AI revolution...
It's just getting started.
It's just getting started.
Until next time.
See you next time.